So, say the Suns pull out this series and they win it all. Who's your who's the most logical pick in your mind right now to win the MVP? Is it going to be Paul or will it be Booker?
So the idea is if the Suns win it,
Yeah,
the most logical between the two.
Who do you think takes them to that point?
Aiton's such an easy wild card right there too, but I mean, probably Chris Paul. Chris Paul would probably be my pick right off the bat. Yeah, probably Chris Paul.
What about you, Bob?
Yeah, I know Devin Booker's like a big scorer, but yeah, I'm going to go Chris Paul just because he does more. He does a lot more than just score for the Phoenix, so he contributes a lot more to the team. So he, a better chance of making MVP.
We've not seen Devin Booker be great yet since he broke his nose yet either. I mean, I'm not saying that he can't be. I'm just saying that we've not seen it yet. So yeah, Chris Paul feels like the logical one.
I don't know. I feel like, we've only really seen one great game out of Chris Paul, just that last one. Before that, we were saying he's washed coming off his injury, or off of COVID at least. So I don't know. I think you're going to see a lot of output. I know you said it's just scoring, but I think the amount that Booker's going to have to score this series for them to get past that hump is going to be almost too much to disregard in voting for who the MVP is going to be.
Well, I mean, we're also talking about the idea that the Suns win the series for sure, too.
Well, I think that's almost a given. It's just depending on how many games at this point.
I mean, we got Giannis playing this series now. It might not be the same thing anymore.
I would still say Suns got the better team.
I just saw Devin Booker airball a mid-range jumper. So
they also got hit in the elbow. They showed the replay.
I also think too, just underselling the idea of DeAndre Ayton real quick, because he's been their most consistent player throughout the whole entire postseason. And if he can put up something like a 22, 24, and 12 series, it'd be hard for them not to vote for him for finals MVP.
I do feel like the politics of it, though, if the Suns do win, it don't matter the numbers. They're giving it to Chris Paul. I feel like. Unless Booker just has an insane series.
I can still see him giving it to Booker if it's close. It just really depends on if Paul's been good.
Yeah.
I mean, like if Booker's averaging like 28 for the series and Chris Paul's just been kind of okay, I think they'll give it to Booker. But
all right. Is there any chance Middleton gets it? Or is it going to Giannis? Vice versa.
I mean, I think there's a very real chance Middleton could get it. But it also looks like Giannis seems to be playing at full speed right now. So he would still be my favorite. But I also think right now, as of the moment, Giannis is the third in betting odds between the both teams.
Okay.
So I think if you were just looking at it from who are you betting on for finals MVP, right now Giannis or Middleton would be my two favorite bets.
Was your theory not that Giannis had tore his ACL?
I still think he's tore his knee apart. Yeah. I mean,
He's
how many times
he's out here playing?
How many times have we seen this happen in the postseason before? Dude's going out there on large injuries and playing, dating back to the Knicks, Wes Unseld, Magic Johnson getting hurt and playing center because he couldn't move as well. Isaiah Thomas, on down the list. It doesn't always happen like it did with KD a few years back where he tried to play hurt and then just blew it up. Sometimes you can manage it. And yeah, I would almost guarantee you Giannis has surgery on this knee after this season.
I would agree with that. I still don't know how comfortable I would be in the front office or even as coaching staff to throw him out there. I mean, I guarantee he's demanding to play as a go-to and get that out of here.
Oh, that's so nasty.
But I don't know. It's like that's your player for a lot of years. And is the risk outweighing the reward? I mean, a championship's great, yeah, but do you want one championship and then lose your star player for 5-6 years because he messes up his knee so bad that it was already hurt? Like, I mean, I don't know. It could go either way, but he's not some all-star out there. Like that's your guy. Like
I also think
he probably has tore his knee all to pieces. So why is he out there?
because he wants to play. He's not going to let them tell him no at this point.
That's why I don't think he tore his knee up as bad as you think he did. Because I think
if LeBron tore his ACL right now, I think LeBron would be sitting up right now in the finals.
You said you think he'd be sitting?
No, he'd be playing, suiting it up, going out there.
He's 36. If he tore his ACL, that's no.
LeBron's also in better condition than most human, everybody on earth, and more so than probably even Giannis, who is a incredible athlete. I could see LeBron, guys can tear their ACL. You hear about it in the NFL and stuff like that all the time. Dudes, especially when you're in that good of shape, that good of athlete, you can do stuff like that. And as long as you can manage the pain, you can play through it and postpone having the surgery. They just have to, manage the swelling and the pain and stuff like that. I'm not saying, I could be wrong. I'm obviously have no idea. I wouldn't be able to watch the video and decipher anything. I just I know how the history of in all sports, but also in the NBA, everybody lies about that injury for the first little bit, and then they go out there and test it and see what it is. And maybe it's not the ACL, maybe it's like the meniscus or something like that, like Embiid did. We saw it with Embiid. He tore one of the whatever it is, 4 or 5 biggest ligaments there in your knee, and went out and played.
I'm trying to watch him here move up and down the court and see, he's not moving like he normally does. He's moving funny. He's not getting up and down the court like he typically does, in the speed and athleticism that he normally exhibits. It's just not there right now.
I think it's kind of different with Embiid because, in Embiid's case, that series was a blueprint series. That was the make or break for that team. So in some sort, he kind of had to play. It's not the case with Giannis. We still expect this team to be together. They may add a few pieces, this or that, but it's not all right, we're blowing it all up now if they lose this. So the stakes aren't as high as they are with Embiid.
I just, I don't know. You get that far in professional sports and you don't know if you're ever going to get back there. If I'm a player, I'm not letting that team tell me no. And I'm all for the player empowerment. I don't even think that's an anti-player empowerment thing. I think that's just when you've put the effort to get to that point. If you feel like you can do it and you want to push it, I'm not letting anybody tell me no at that point. You're going to have to not let me onto the court. You know what I mean? You're going to have to get security to stop me from getting on that court.
You might need security. I like it. No, I agree.
KD's.
I was thinking of it more of
security agent got it.
As a management side rather than a player side.
Oh, I get it. The management side, you don't want to risk it, but I think it's the Milwaukee Bucks. You know what I mean? They've put everything in to this moment. They're probably going to end up having to pay the luxury tax once. I think they avoid it this year, but they'll eventually probably have to do it. It's worth it for them because how many other chances you get at being the Milwaukee Bucks world champions?
They're not going to have an easier path.
No, yeah, exactly. This is their year to do it if they were to do it, especially with the Nets emerging. So, I can understand the play. It's just it's risky. It's risky.
He's a warrior. You can't doubt that. He's gonna go out there and do it.
So what do y'all got in this series while we're on it? Oh, that just looks nasty.
So coming into the game tonight, I saw it was like 86% of the bets were on Phoenix coming in just to tonight's game. And Phoenix so far is 3-0 in the playoffs in their game ones, and Milwaukee is 1-2. So, but then Giannis got healthy. The line fell from -6 in Phoenix favor to -4.5 right before tip. But I mean, I don't know. I'm going to go with Milwaukee for this one for game one, but I'm going to go with Phoenix for the series.
I mean, and how many you think? If you had to guess.
I think it goes full 7. They milk it. They get as much, revenue as they can out there, ad revenue.
Okay. Oh, so you're saying it's going to be fixed for it to go to 7?
There might be a little bit of that going on, yeah.
Okay. See, my theory with the fixing of series is I think maybe they can be like, all right, these first 4 games, they're going to go this way. And then it's a best of 3 after that. But we're getting to 7 regardless. Let's get it to 2-2 on our terms, and then y'all can slug it out for that next 3.
This isn't professional wrestling. You guys
I
know
don't know,
that,
man.
right?
I like it. It could be.
The Giannis injury definitely throws a wrench in the plan because it might be over sooner in Phoenix's favor. But with Giannis healthy, I think I could see it go 7.
Oh, okay. I see what you're saying. I thought you meant Giannis coming back. Oof. Yeah, I'm gonna go. But who do you have?
I'm gonna roll the exact opposite. I got Phoenix tonight, and I got Bucks in 6. I'm pretty confident with Giannis coming back. He's gonna be all right. But I don't know. Brook Lopez keeps shooting. What was that? Probably a 28-foot 3.
Yeah, it's too far. Too far. Well, I'm gonna go Suns tonight and Suns in 5. I think the Suns have just been too hot. Bench play's been amazing. Chris Paul getting back healthy. Booker being aggressive, like you were preaching earlier, Ayton. So I'm going with the Suns tonight. Suns in 5. I think maybe Suns in 4 if Giannis was out, but he came back, so I'll give him a game just to be respectful.
Just be respectful. That's yeah.
I'm standing by it.
Is there a little fear if Giannis just continues on the path that he's on, where it seems like he's healthy and he played well in the first little spurt there that they gave him for him to be the Finals MVP right off the bat?
No.
Based off the first few minutes there, no.
No, I think
he didn't look healthy enough. I mean, he was probably running at like 65-70% there.
And at 65-70%, he still had a goaltending that he pulled the ball out of the rim, and a couple of pretty downhill plays that looked, I think he looks like he's ready to go. It doesn't seem as scary as what I think we were thinking it was going to be now. I mean, he's obviously going to play until it, either gets hurt worse or the series is over. It seems like he's in it for the long haul. But they're going to be tentative with the minutes here.
Yeah, I liked your idea of bringing him off the bench, running him at that 5 spot with the second group to work his minutes back into the game, work him back into shape.
Let him be the offensive focal point of that second unit.
Yeah, let your number one finally be the real number one.
And I've seen, obviously, he's been receiving treatment like round the clock on his knee, trying to get it better. But there's only so much you can do. I mean, outside of basic care that, especially if you require surgery at the end of the season, like you're saying, there's only so much care you can do while you're playing on it right now. So, yeah. I mean, how long, they're getting a full off season this time, right?
No. I think it's going to be, they're starting back.
They're starting back in when the season, this is about when the end of the regular season usually is.
Is
Yeah, it's off by about a month because it's usually beginning of June or early June.
Yeah, I mean, kind of like mid-June. It's usually like in the early teens is when the finals usually wraps up. So I mean, yeah, we're still a little bit off, but I think they're doing the whole 72 game thing again. So I guess that's the bump back of the month or whatever, the month start back or whatever.
good.
I guess. I mean, it still seems like there's ways that they could try to make up for the shortened times here over this last season, and the bubble scenario and stuff like that. Maybe give them. I still think the December start time seems like the best bet for the NBA.
But Christmas,
Yeah,
I like
around
that.
Christmas.
I like that.
I think they should do that. And if they did do that, another way for them to gain some more revenue was to start, maybe start the G League early or have a G League tournament or have some type of tournaments.
I think especially since they're acting like they're going to do this midseason tournament, I think that would be the perfect thing for the NBA is you start then, just do the midseason tournament because that's going to add so much revenue anyways. That you're not even missing that much time.
Implement because basketball is kind of like one of them games where you can play 5 games in a week, and it might suck, but you can get through it. So why not? I think it should implement.
There's
the whole
zero
kind of
chance
the
they're
cup
going to let them
style.
play 5 games in a week.
I'm not saying playing 5 games a week, but implement some type of in-season like competition, like tournament.
Yeah, no, I mean,
I mean,
have they not already signed off on the idea that they're going to do that, or Adam Silver is really trying to push for that to happen next year? Basically, there's going to be some kind of in-season tournament. I don't think they've determined what the value of this tournament is going to be yet, but the way I've heard the makeup of it being is basically every team is going to be involved in. It's kind of like a single elimination thing. I don't know if they'll do it East-West and then the winners play each other, or if they'll just do like maybe all 30 teams, 1 versus 30 kind of deal go down the line.
I like it.
I don't know if it's 1 versus 30. I guess you'd probably top 2 seeds maybe get a bye. I don't know how that works. Yeah.
NBA Cup.
Yeah. The NBA Cup. That's what we're looking at here.
That'd be kind of dope. That's what they need anyway, is extra revenue. I think definitely going forward, we'll start to see some type of deal being made with getting Summer League on all of like not just NBA TV and stuff like that, and or League Pass, like a lot of these games on ESPN 2 at least or something.
Trying to get more visibility on the Summer League for sure. I could see that absolutely. Because it over the last couple of years, it seemed to be
It's been big.
Yeah, especially when we've had some obviously before COVID there, you had guys like Zion playing it and stuff like that. And I mean, it was starting to become a little bit of a distraction. You had John Morant play well and stuff like that in it. And I think people want to see these guys play. So as soon as they get that uniform on, put a camera on them.
Yeah, exactly. Sink or swim. Let them go. What else we got?
You want to, speaking of this revenue talk, we could transition into some college sports revenue here with it. Some NIL stuff. It's name, image, and likeness.
Oh yeah. Shoot. Back in my day, I would have made. That's one thing I'm sick of hearing on Twitter. Oh man, if they had the NIL when I was playing, I'd have had this or that. Okay, well, you didn't, buddy. Get over it. No, but that's exciting. They need to give Reggie Bush his trophy back. Start with that. I mean, it's long overdue. They were paying these kids anyway. Most of the big programs anyway. So
it's going to be like this year the biggest paid probably college athlete between what was it, like Spencer Rattler and Derek King, right?
I don't know if we know for sure because a lot of these contracts haven't even came out yet. But like so far right now, I didn't see the exact numbers on either of those. I know
It's gotta be Hersey leading right now.
yeah, Hersey Miller, Masterpiece son there at Tennessee State got 2 million, I know, guaranteed. But I didn't see the final number on De'Aaron King or Spencer Rattler. I just know De'Aaron King's got a whole business set up, right? Like they've got the whole a shop where he's selling only his jerseys and stuff like that. Like it's like a whole little running operation the way I read it.
Yeah, it seems to be like a lot of I mean, everybody knew it was coming, we just didn't know exactly when the date and when it would go affect and all that. So a lot of these kids jumped the gun, got everything set up in place, ready to just roll out. And it was really just a win. We could actually launch it. So it's really exciting to see, man. It's about time. It's about time. What was that? Bob, you spoke about something about Miami.
Oh, how the Miami there had been over $500,000 pledge to Miami Hurricane football players, and that was, would you all say that broke down to like 6,000 a player or something like that?
I think they said at least every player is going to get $6,000. Yeah,
It's $500 a month.
So yeah, I mean that's absurd. I mean that's what's going to start rolling in at some, and it start attracting the talent too at some of these big name programs. Now you don't know. I mean, it's going to, I don't know, bring problems with it to some capacity too. But I'm curious to see how all this is going to play out.
So I know people, I keep hearing people say the whole, now it's going to give people incentive to come to this place or come to that place. But I mean, in reality, they were all getting paid before regardless. We just, it was all under the table. Most of the casual fan don't know about it, but they were still getting paid. So I don't know that it being all over the table now necessarily makes it, going to give a certain program an edge over another program.
I think that's still going on too.
Yeah, I mean, I think you're going to have programs that you're going to see the same programs stay in power that typically are in power. It's not going to change up too hard. You're going to have some teams gun for it and stuff like that. And maybe, you do have random years where some teams come back or, whatever. Everybody seems to be worried about Miami, like, thinking that those, but so be it. It's better whenever there's a couple extra good teams in the ACC.
They were 8-3 last year.
So. Yeah. So like, let's get a couple of, somebody at least challenge Clemson every year. So yeah, I welcome that.
You think that? I think one interesting thing it will affect a conference specifically would be the SEC. Because I mean, some of those teams in the SEC already have you got the Alabamas, the Floridas, Georgias, we'll throw Tennessee in there to some sort. Like those lower levels, the Vandy's, the Missouris, so other teams that are just going to struggle with now that Alabama and them can actually pay real money, or boosters can give these people real money rather than under the table. I think that just knocks almost out of the picture completely, some sort.
Do you think so? Because I don't know. I think it's almost the opposite.
You think?
I think you're going to have somewhere like Missouri where there is money in the boosters and just different little things that are going to want to go out and spend some of this money. So whereas you might get limited money to come in and be a backup out of Alabama, you might get paid pretty decent to come in and be the guy at Missouri, or things like that. I could see different things leading in different ways with that. Vandy might always be Vandy, but I don't think it's going to hurt teams like, I think teams like Missouri or teams that, Arkansas is one that, kind of struggles on that back end of the SEC West.
Jerry Jones going to be throwing money at Arkansas.
Well, they're already, people are going to get creative with it. There was a barbecue restaurant that signed an endorsement deal with all the offensive linemen for the Razorbacks, the Hogs or whatever, trying to keep that whole little thing going. I think, that Arkansas seems to have a passionate fan base, at least. So I could see that helping, them go out and spend money. Oklahoma State, I think they've got like a real big booster that was always kind of behind the scenes, like helping run the program and stuff like that. You could see that kind of come to the forefront.
Yeah, it was T. Boone Pickens, the oil guy.
Yeah. I mean, you might see stuff like that kind of come to the forefront, and so is that a bad thing? I don't know, but I also don't think that it's going to be any different than what anybody else has a chance of doing.
Do you think it's going to be the end of like quarterback rooms like in the past where you had Jalen Hurts, Tua Tagovailoa, and Mac Jones just hanging around? You think that's over?
I mean,
at Alabama, no.
Well, I think it's going to happen places. Yeah, I mean,
but I mean, still, even Alabama, why would Mac Jones stay there and wait 3 years?
So are you saying like will players be quicker to transfer? I think yeah, they definitely will be if they get into a crowded quarterback room and they see the competition that maybe is slightly better than them, and they can see the writing on the wall, so to speak, that they're not going to get much PT this upcoming season. Then yeah, I would be wanting to transfer. I mean,
that's no quarterback.
I mean,
that's no different than any other time.
I think it's exactly the perfect time for them to open up the transfer rule. Get rid of the fucking transfer rule. If you want to transfer, coaches can leave and go play anywhere or go into school, not to sit out. If the market's open for these people to make money and they have to sit out a year because they want to leave.
Pass that, right?
No, so you get
it's a one-time transfer rule.
Yeah, you get a one-time transfer rule. Okay. That you don't have to sit out after that.
I think it's just free market, just if you want to go. If somebody's willing to give you a scholarship to come there, then you can go. If not, then it's on you.
I mean, yeah, I guess
that's just NCAA trying to hold power still.
So here's my thing with the whole NIL thing. Like these players are getting paid over the table, so to speak, as you were saying. But the under the table money is, I think, way bigger than the over the table the money than what these guys are going to be making on the NIL. So those bagmen, so to speak, are still going to be, having to pay the players under the table, and that those players are still going to get paid. I mean,
no doubt. And a lot of those bagmen too are from like Nike and stuff like that, or Adidas and some of these shoe companies and stuff like that are paired with the colleges. So it's not always like the colleges are just always paying the money. It's a lot of companies and stuff like that kind of trying to set up future, endorsement deals and things like that, shoe deals, whatever kind of sponsorship.
No, yeah. I don't know. It should be interesting to see what happens.
I did see Kamara tweet out, said, like any young players want to link up for this NIL thing, let me know or something like that. And I saw somebody from Tennessee tweeted him up and Kamara retweeted it. I can't remember who exactly it was. I think it was a quarterback or Valus Jones or something.
There you go. Alvin Kamara getting in the game.
So that's pretty cool to see, Kamara supporting, especially his, alum school there in Tennessee. Not a lot of players from that era are willing to, put their name to Tennessee right now. But he's one of them. So he's definitely the most prolific from that era right now. So
back to the under the table and over the table talk. I thought the money's going to, because I mean, that under the table money is really nice. It's probably really big lump sum of money, but I think now that bag's going to get even bigger just for the fact that these donors are going to be able to tax that. So there might be, might have to get rid of some money. Player might come up on something, say like a booster or something, just giving a select player a sponsorship for whatnot.
I think
some of these players could get some really big bags.
That would have to be over the table though, right?
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
Oh yeah.
It's going to be a lot bigger now that it's over the table.
I do know there is some kind of limitation on certain things with the donors, but I think as long as they run it through a business, I think that's the way that they're doing it. As long as you're sponsoring whatever that donor's business is, then it doesn't really matter. I do know one of the initial benefits we're seeing from this passing is college basketball landscape. I believe it was a kid from Michigan, I think Hunter Dickinson, said that this basically led him to coming back to college for a year instead of trying to go into the draft to kind of help his financial situation. He didn't know where he would get drafted, probably a second round pick. And now he's saying that, I can go to Michigan and make some money. And, this is going to help me out a lot more this year than what going pro would have done.
Yeah.
And so you're going to see that with, I think, several of these college players right now that'll really help them out and be super beneficial, especially for these college basketball players right now.
I mean, NCAA saw what was happening. The whole Ignite team, players going overseas. I mean, LaMelo, RJ, there's a couple, wasn't there 2 or 3 top 10 picks of this year's class that went to either the Ignite team or overseas?
Mostly G League now.
Yeah. Now, I mean, they saw what was coming. So, I mean, NCAA, a lot like the NFL, is a reactive league. They're reactive. I mean, this was a good reaction, and it was overdue, but it shouldn't have took this long.
Wasn't it LaMelo who almost got locked up over in China for stealing like a candy bar?
No, it was LiAngelo.
When he was at UCLA, that was LiAngelo.
Yeah.
Then Trump got him out, apparently. Wasn't that? Then Trump,
And then he
took
transferred.
credit for it. I think he ended up like
He played for like 6 games and then left.
Well, I think after that, there was like a whole little problem. Then they were gonna like suspend him afterwards. And so he just like left campus and they went pro.
I thought that was LaMelo.
No, LaMelo remember played in like Europe and then Australia, right?
playing the NBL.
Yeah, he played in the NBL, I think, right?
Yeah.
And then he also played there in that
Yeah,
like
Australian league,
Lithuania or whatever it was.
It was Lithuania.
Yeah.
And he balled too. No, but okay, since we're talking about the NIL, college football game should be coming back pretty soon. Who do you guys think deserves the first cover? I mean, there's a lot of names that you could go from Joe Burrows, Devontae Smith,
Spencer
you could
Rattler.
go Kyler Murray.
I think it'll depend. I think if we're talking about, because I don't think it's coming out this year. Although I guess that could be
Probably a 2022 release.
Probably 2022. If they do I think if they do a throwback player, like if it's not like a current player, because I mean, the initial thing would be like whoever won the Heisman this upcoming year kind of deal. But I think if we're doing a throwback player, it should be Reggie Bush. I think Reggie Bush should be the cover.
Just like that. What was it, 2005, 05 cover he had?
Yeah. Give him a little retro throwback cover.
One of my favorite games ever.
Yeah. Who you got?
Me? Shoot. I could see Johnny Manziel.
Johnny Manziel.
Johnny Manziel.
I
I
could
don't
see
know
Johnny
about-
I could see Johnny Football being on it, man. He was probably one of the biggest.
One.
He was one of the biggest college football stars we've had in a long time. In
he's
terms of
had-
star power,
They
He's
ain't
had
giving
too
Johnny
many issues.
They ain't giving
post-
him. They ain't giving him the
So?
solo. They ain't giving him
He's
the
had
solo
too many
cover.
issues post.
So
They give him solo.
cares?
Think about all the people that have
Uh,
been stars since then that they'll give it over. Yeah, no.
We're not talking about what happened in the NFL with him. We're talking about what he did in college. He was one of the best. He was one of the biggest college football stars we've had in a long time.
He made the cover, right? One year.
Based on what though, really? Just
Based
like
on-
going viral?
I'm not saying he was the best. I'm just saying he was a star.
Sure.
He
He was
the
the
biggest
best
stars.
his freshman year.
No, that's what I'm saying. Like I'm just saying, like, it's like
Who had more star power than Johnny Manziel and play college football?
But, like,
Last
that's
5
like-
years.
that's like trying to say like if they brought back Fight Night that you put Logan Paul on the cover or Jake Paul on the
Logan Paul
cover.
didn't box professionally. He's an amateur fighter. That's a whole different thing. Johnny Manziel played football at the highest level in college.
No, they are on. I mean, they're technically professional boxers now.
Okay, but did Logan
Johnny
Paul
Manziel won the Heisman.
was he one of the best fighters in the world at one point and win the boxing best award? No, but Johnny Manziel did, regardless of what he did in NFL or whatnot and how crazy he is. But no,
I was
he
just thinking about like the
in
last
college.
couple of years in college though, because he went from being the best to like gradually declining, and then yeah, just kind of been just like a bust of like a human being since then.
Okay,
And
what I'm talking about since then.
Oh no, I'm just saying like so like as far as like a star power, I feel like now when the album when the cover's dropping, his star power is like so far behind so many other people.
I'll agree with that, but there's no argument that there has not been since Johnny Manziel a college football player
Reggie
with that
Bush.
much star player.
Reggie Bush is more realistic than Johnny Manziel.
Okay, I agree with that, but I'm saying
Star power.
since Johnny Manziel, there's not been a bigger college football star since him.
I don't know.
Joe
Trevor
Burrow.
Lawrence. Nah,
Trevor
Joe
Lawrence.
Burrow. I don't know
That
if
one-
I agree with
That
Burrow,
won that
but
2019 season.
He wasn't a superstar. He wasn't like he was the best player. Yeah, but I'm talking about star power. He was.
No, I mean,
he wasn't the
Johnny
number
Manziel
one
was in
pick.
Drake's songs,
He wasn't the
hanging out
number
with
one
Drake.
pick.
He was hanging out. I'm not talking about being the best. You're not hearing me. He was a star. I'm talking
yeah,
star.
so that's what I'm saying. You're just talking about viral, and that's what I'm saying. That's the exact same comparison to like Logan Paul or Jake Paul.
Yeah, but Logan Paul and Jake Paul weren't also one of the best on the field in the boxing ring also.
But that's what we're saying is like he had like the one Heisman year, but outside of that, it's like he kind of just like fizzled out a lot.
I know. I'm not saying he should be on the cover. I'm saying there's not been a bigger star in college football since. And if you want to name one, then I'll say yeah, but nobody said one since.
Well, I don't know. I mean, like Trevor Lawrence, like
Not
across
a
like,
star.
I mean, he was.
Nobody wants to hang out with Trevor Lawrence, dog.
But
I'm
see,
not
that's
the one
no
for
okay.
the
No,
person.
no,
You wanted to hang out
no.
with
This
him,
is
not
two
his
different
definition.
conversations.
How
These
many
are
followers does he have?
these
on
are
his
that's
Instagram?
way too many different conversations.
How many followers
Johnny,
he has on
everybody's
Instagram
walking
does
around
not
going-
dictate if he's a superstar.
How's it not?
Trevor Lawrence is a superstar.
Trevor Lawrence out of high school was told he was the number one pick. Like, I mean, he was getting like, regarded like
Told
that.
he was a really good player. I agree.
Well, I mean, that was superstardom. They were talking about him on ESPN every day.
Yeah,
like,
in the sense of college football, but Johnny Manziel was huge in the outside of football, just in culture and hip hop and all that stuff.
But that hip hop, that's it. Like Trevor Lawrence is like big with like all these like right wing religious people and stuff like
Okay,
that.
so then how is that a superstar? Let him go be a weirdo with the right wings.
I would just say like all those people were like, hey, you got married during college, you did all this, you did all that. Like, I mean, it's still like popularity is superstardom. Like that's like superstardom and like what you're talking about isn't just like a culture thing. It's like how many people are actually following you. And like Trevor Lawrence has got that as well. And was regarded as like, who's the best too as well. Like he was the product. I mean, people were saying he's the next Peyton Manning. So I mean, there was the talk there. I think there's the stardom there. I also think you had dudes like Saquon Barkley and stuff that were like getting into that superstar category that
Zeke.
post Johnny Manziel. Maybe Zeke, but Saquon was like on that like hosting or not hosting, but like being like all on the ESPYs and stuff before he even like played a game in the NFL. He was did he get the cover of Madden like his rookie year or something like that? Was that the thing? Didn't he get something like that? So I guess you're pushing into like a superstar category there as well.
I just think y'all are missing what I'm trying to say. So we'll just leave it at that. Y'all you're just missing it. Y'all trying to speak football with me. I'm not trying to talk football.
No, we're not.
Stardom.
Yeah,
Johnny Manziel was huge.
You're just talking
Basically
about
made a movie about him.
You're just talking about because Drake was his homie and he wears jersey.
No, I'm trying to think because all these little white kids was running around rubbing their fingers doing this, trying to wear fives and be Johnny Football. And he was on ESPN talked on ESPN daily. They basically made a movie around him and his essence.
What movie?
Just let me get my shit off.
Yeah, what movie is
I'm gonna
that?
content here. You just have to look it up.
You just have to look it up.
Yeah, it's Google. Yeah, man. There's
All
not a
right.
bigger star.
Who's the bigger star? Him or Tim Tebow?
Star?
Mm-hmm.
Tebow.
That's tough. Tebow is huge. Probably Tebow. Not even talking about football. Clearly, Tebow's a better football player.
I don't know.
College,
Well,
but-
yeah, maybe college.
But just star power, yeah, clearly Tebow. It's not even
Yeah.
close, I don't think.
Tebow is probably the biggest college football player of all time, isn't he?
Probably. Just because, yeah. Yeah, definitely Tebow.
Is Tebowing bigger than the money thing?
Yeah, because I think it was more cooler.
It had a bigger moment. Oh,
I think it was
man.
cooler. But I think Tebow in general is just much bigger than Johnny Manziel.
Oh,
like the
wait.
money
So
thing
the
better.
money thing was bigger than or the
I think so.
Tebowing thing?
Everybody-
Okay.
It was
No.
only just
Okay.
that certain crowd that was Tebow.
No, the Tebowing thing seemed like a thing that had its moment and then died. So yeah, no, I'm glad on that answer.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, I think
No,
yeah.
Tebow was huge. Yeah, golly. I mean, that's why he's still working now.
No, Tebow is. I mean, I would have to say is probably the most famous / biggest college football player of all time.
Definitely.
God, they'll probably put his ass on the cover one day.
Oh my gosh. No. Taking a knee.
Oh, right.
Tebow taking a knee. It'd be hilarious.
I'm sure somebody's already got the graphic of him taking a knee, like half Florida jersey, half Jaguars jersey.
So
Oh,
are
I
we
keep
going? Are
forgetting
we
he's still in
going?
the NFL.
Are we going off the cover is going to be a former player, not an active college player?
Hey, it can be. I guess it could be an active college player, but I doubt that it's going to be an active college player. I would have to
Yeah,
think
I would
at
assume
best
not. but-
it's going to be like a guy from the year before,
yeah.
which in case is probably the Heisman, right? Whoever wins the Heisman.
This year, I don't really know about who the big names are in college football. So other than the two we've already named, and Rattler and King, I don't know who the quarterback is at Alabama. That guy, but
Bryce Young.
Bryce Young.
Bryce Young.
He's gonna
No,
be
well,
on
yeah.
Kyler Murray.
So it'll probably be a next year game anyway. So it'd probably be a guy going in next year. But I guess if it was a player from last season, who you taking?
It'd have to be Devontae. Biggest year wide receivers ever had.
I think I'd do a.
Mac.
They'd probably give it to Trevor Lawrence, though.
I think they'd give it to Mac or Trevor. Yeah.
I think it'd either be Trevor Lawrence or it'd be a dual cover, Mac Jones and Devontae Smith.
That would be dope.
That
That's
is
how they should have done the Heisman, honestly.
I think they'd just go
split
like,
Heisman.
I just think they'd go
Split Heisman.
quarterback. I think they'd go
No.
quarterback over receiver.
I think they'd go Trevor Lawrence because he's the number one pick and mostly probably because I've already seen those edits on Twitter and stuff, so it seemed logical, I guess.
I'm boycotting
Giannis bricked a wide open three.
if they don't put Devontae on it. I'm just ready to get back to recruiting, man. I miss college football.
Getting that recruiting action, yeah, like trying to build up Hawaii again. You know what I'm saying? It's been too long.
Yeah,
I
you
like
can have
getting
players on campus now.
Yeah, I like getting a nice recruiting a nice freshman to take my senior spot. Speaking of people taking people's spots and stuff, did y'all catch any of this Rachel Nichols news?
Oh yeah.
Do you have any thoughts on it?
Yeah. So Rachel Nichols, so she was just like pretty much just like bitching that Maria Taylor was gonna get more airtime than her. Is that it?
I think the official complaint was in Rachel's contract. She was set to host NBA Countdown,
NBA
Or
Finals,
NBA
just the NBA Finals preview.
host the NBA
Yeah.
Finals previews, and I guess they gave it to Maria. And I think another big thing that's not talked about enough in this, they were talking about on Levitar today, was the fact that that video was like illegally recorded.
Yeah, I
And,
want to know where that came from. But she said specifically her comment in the video was like, and whoever we're pleasing this week or whoever we're making happy this week or something like that. whenever it was in reference to like she said like which minority or something like that. Which minority?
Oh no, I don't know if that's the exact quote. Was it? I would check
Unless
that
she called her
exact
the
quote.
token black girl, basically.
Because what she she said that all the people that they were appeasing to were mostly a bunch of white Trump supporters, old men white Trump supporters, and that they were touting their diversity as, I guess, a strong point at ESPN, when in all reality behind the scene it kind of wasn't, while also saying that Maria Taylor was the token black girl.
Yeah, it was.
And the worst part about all of it's ESPN fired Kayla Johnson for nothing.
So it sounds like we have a pro Rachel Nichols among us.
I mean, I would listen to somebody with a more nuanced take than maybe the Twitter mob. So I don't know. Maybe try listening to somebody who said something about it other than local Knoxville radio. But people like Jamel Hill
They've
and
been off for a week and they don't even talk about the NBA.
So
John Reed. So
Jamel
I don't know what your
Hill,
little slight there is towards the Knoxville radio.
Jamel Hill and
Steven Jackson come out and defended her too.
And Jamel Hill and Amin El Hassan had a pretty good talk about it as well today. And so yeah, I would say I don't know if I'm exactly pro Rachel Nichols. I'm pro more reading into the story.
Sounds like you are.
And well, like I said, I'm more pro reading into the story and getting facts. And I don't think.
Is there more facts to get?
Well, I mean, yeah, like, so what happened to Rachel Nichols was illegal. It was an illegal, like Gaitor made reference to. It was an illegal, which was set up by what they're saying is probably ESPN, set up to illegally record her. And then it got leaked to the New York Post, 2 days before all this came out, that Maria Taylor supposedly wants Stephen A. Smith money, all while her contract's going out during this finals. So to me, it seems like a lot of corporate pull on trying to pit a black woman and a white woman against each other that are in the same field. And we're all going to blame one woman who was just upset about her job, whenever if you got your job taken from you that you were promised in a contract, you would be upset too. The same way that anybody would be. And I think the Twitter mob doesn't see that all the time. And so maybe a little nuance is good in this scenario.
Yeah.
But I don't know. I'm not a black person, so I don't get to speak on it. But yeah, I also don't think that just screaming out Rachel Nichols as racist is really helping or solving or progressing anything.
I agree there. Bob, you got anything to that?
No.
Well, while we're at it, I guess I'll go and throw my take in on it. That was interesting. No, I agree. I mean, when I read the headline, if we're headline reading, then yeah, it's gonna be like, wow, fuck Rachel Nichols. What is she on? But once you actually get into like what all is actually going on in the story, it's way more complex than Rachel Nichols saying that Maria Taylor's the token black girl. It goes a lot deeper than that. I mean, what she said is not great. I'm not saying like she's in the right for saying that she's the token, but I mean, Maria is absolutely capable of doing that job and qualified and well deserved to have it. But yeah, I mean, yeah, like you said, it deserves a little nuance. It's a true. It's not just a parallel one-way street about what happened. There's some things to it, and that some things need to be examined and talked about rather than to just read the headline and cancel Rachel Nichols.
Which, yeah, I mean, you know, in all reality, who gives a fuck? Cancel Rachel Nichols, whatever. But the thing that I guess that I took from it was like, even in her comment, she also said that Maria Taylor was really good at her job, and that Maria Taylor does college football, college basketball, and that literally give her anything else, but she felt like the NBA finals was hers, which I guess contractually she was obligated to feel that way. But yeah, adding in the race element obviously was going to turn it into race for her.
Yeah. Yeah. And like they said on Level Talk today, nobody wants to talk about the privacy aspect of how they got the video and
or unfortunately, nobody's talking about the fact that they fired or in essence forced out a Black girl who was working there, and Kayla Johnson, who all she did was tell Maria Taylor that there was a video out there. Didn't have anything to do with the secret recording or anything, just told her that the video was out there.
She gets gone.
And then they forced her out. And some people try to play it out like she had a kind of small role. But if you ever remember what she did at ESPN, it was always she would interview rookies at like the NBA combine or like the NFL combine and would ask them about like the 90s and stuff. And it was like, the young kids asking them like, hey, do you know about this?
Yeah.
That was her. Like she started all
Kayla
that.
Johnson.
Kayla Johnson. She did all that. She produced all that. That was her wave. And yeah. Also a really good Twitter follow. But yeah, kicked her to the curb in the midst of all this. And ESPN's going to get a pass on it.
It's more, I think, more than anything, an indictment on Rachel Nichols or anything else. It speaks to what the hell is going on at ESPN. Like, it just seems to be total dysfunction. That's just, I don't think it's not the glitz and glamour everybody thinks it is. And that's who should be getting the bulk. It's only not all of the repercussions and responsibilities from this.
It's only slightly better than Outkick.
Disney wants you to fight about Rachel Nichols. They don't want you to fight about Disney. They want you to fight about Rachel Nichols.
Absolutely. They don't want you to know that Disney's trying to own everything along with Amazon. But somebody's got to sell something to the corporation. But speaking of, I guess some other hot topic issues, we have learned tonight that the USA track and field team will not be including
Sha'Carri Richardson.
And correct me if I'm wrong, because I really don't know this, guys. She was slated to be suspended, and her suspension would have came up before this race, correct? And she should have been able, in theory, to race in this race, correct?
She was going to miss the 100, but she was going to be available for the 4x4. But wow. They didn't select her. They selected, I guess, the lady that finished fourth. Sha'Carri finished first in her.
So picked who was fourth.
And oh man, the lady said that she, also, she said that, Jesus put her there, put her in that spot, and that she's going to use that position to teach kids not to smoke or do drugs.
Well, who said this? The lady that has now stepped in as the fourth spot.
Yeah.
Oh, so she's taking basically the exact opposite.
Yeah. She's taking the anti-drug Jesus saves route.
Oh my gosh. I think I saw that now.
I can't remember now. I meant to save the tweet. I should have saved it, but yeah, it was wild.
Brainwash is a real thing.
Hey, and nobody does it better than America.
But I mean, I know we've talked about this.
Okay, Russia. We might as well.
A little bit behind the scenes though, but it's like, this is a world doping agency problem. Like, marijuana has not looked the same way in the rest of the world that it is in the United States. So that's what makes it a problem as far as all that goes. But this seems like it's on the United States for leaving her off the team, in my opinion. This could have went the exact opposite way for them, and they could have let her run on this team and been fine. So it is disappointing to see that once again it is our fault in what is happening. But
Free Britney.
that's right. Free Britney.